On this week's show, Peloton is adding commercials for Lululemon before some classes and is hosting a Lululemon members weekend.
Plus, Jess Sims and Selena have a new floor Bootcamp 2 program. Hannah Frankson clarifies she isn't leaving Peloton, and much, much more.
Welcome to Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. Here are your hosts, Amanda Siegel and Jon Pruitt.
Welcome to episode 177 of Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. I'm Amanda Siegel, and I am joined by not one, but two co-hosts this afternoon. We have Jon Pruitt and our boss, Chris Lewis. Hey, guys.
The boss.
Morning. How y'all doing?
Good
to see you.
Good. How's everybody? Everybody good? Everybody have a good week?
Good week. The trio is here.
Trio is here.
To bring you all the latest and greatest.
We don't have that much to talk about today, but I seem to have noticed that the news is becoming less, but the instructor in the news is like there's something that all of them have going on at some point. It's crazy.
Chris he always has the weekly stuff pretty well stacked, it seems. So
yeah,
there's always something to talk about.
Yeah, I keep waiting for one of those slow news weeks, but we've not hit one of those in a while. So
yeah,
even on that pause and reflect time off, we still got plenty to go over.
Plenty to go over. Well, I guess with that being said, before we get started with the news, we always like to remind you how you can keep up to date with all of our content across all of our platforms. Every episode is released on our YouTube channel. Just hit the subscribe button at the bottom right-hand side of the screen and hit the notify button so that you never miss an episode.
Yes, and of course, we're on all traditional podcast platforms. You can find us just by searching Pelo Buddy TV. And please leave us those 5-star reviews. We do really greatly appreciate that. It also helps get us more exposure on those platforms when we get those great reviews. So please keep those coming. And we do really appreciate the feedback on ways we can add to the show and improve it.
Absolutely. And of course, folks, we are on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, X, you name it. So make sure that you follow us on those so that you really don't miss anything as to what's going on. But with that being said, I guess, guys, let's get on with the show.
First, let's do a rundown of the latest Pelo news.
All right. Well, it appears that Peloton is experimenting with a new feature called the Peloton X Lululemon Look Cam, and this consists of basically a short 30-second video clip showcasing advertising Lululemon apparel before a Peloton class. So traditionally, we all know a Peloton class would basically start with this 1-minute countdown, the intro period, if you will, where the instructor, goes over whatever device they're on, the bike or the tread or the row, the cadence resistance, incline speed, that sort of thing, safety features. Now for classes where there is this look camera segment, the class instead starts with a minute and 30 countdown about. And this extra 30 seconds at the beginning of the class is the instructor showcasing a set of their Peloton apparel. So one particular instance most recently is in Cody's 30-minute pop ride from May 10th. I did it live, so I haven't, obviously that segment wasn't there. It was added, for on-demand content. But the class now opens with Cody standing in front of the Peloton P out in the lobby where folks take pictures with instructors at PSNY. However, there's some, lighting elements added to sort of, jazz up the video. So in this, he can be seen showcasing a set of Lululemon apparel, and the segment is branded as Lululemon X Peloton Look Cam in the upper right hand corner of the screen. So the first 10 or so seconds is Cody showcasing a street style version of the apparel, and then he leaves the frame briefly And then he comes back in and is now showcasing his workout look of that apparel set. So the video then cuts to a pre-recorded view of Cody entering the cycling studio. And after showing the Peloton Studios New York logo, the class then continues on with that normal 1-minute intro that we're all accustomed to. So the new feature, it's now enabled. It's on the app. It's on all the hardware as well. So, last year Peloton added this shop the look feature on a lot of their content, where members can click on a part of the screen during the cool down segment to have links to the apparel sent to them. So you could see this like shop the look feature being expanded to also show up during the look cam pre-show segment as well. But at this time, that hasn't happened yet, but I would think that's probably the next thing that they'll add.
Yeah, it was interesting. Like, we've only seen it so far. The main one is in this one Cody class. But as we'll talk about a little bit later, they also, around the same time, added a new Lululemon collection. So I can kind of see the ones that end up with this pre-roll ending up in that collection. Yeah, I think, and when I tried it, I don't think you could actually skip it. It might be because it was so new that the skip intro button wasn't integrated with it yet. But since you can normally skip the intro, you probably are going to be able to do with this one as well. They're going to be tweaking this as they roll it out. It's not clear if it's an A/B test yet, if it's going to be, all the Lululemon ambassadors. Cody, for the outfit he was wearing, that was the outfit he was then wearing in that class. So if they are really pairing the specific outfit to the specific class, we won't see it on that many of those.
Right.
Because they're only going to set these lights up and do, this production for it. A limited amount, you would assume.
Yeah.
Right. It's obviously it would take more time and effort, production.
Right.
To add that, if they wanted to add that for every single class, which obviously they don't have the time to probably do that. But I guess so there's you can't skip that 30 seconds, but obviously I assume that when it's on demand, once you get to the traditional 1-minute intro, then you have the skip intro option, correct?
I couldn't when I was testing it, but skip intro is glitchy sometimes to begin with. So it could just be when I was looking at it, it was just a random glitch, and it is there for most people when they try it, but it's brand new. So I'm not positive that the fact that it didn't show up for me when I was looking at it wasn't a glitch for something on purpose at this point.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm curious to see if this really does improve sales with Lululemon, and I'm also curious to know how the sales have been. I got to be honest with you, I have never purchased any of the Lululemon Peloton collab stuff. It's expensive. It's a good $20-$30 more than if you're buying just the regular Peloton stuff. And call me cheap, but I just haven't bought any of it. So I'm curious to see now if that will change. That'll change. And
I don't have any personal issue with Lululemon. I know.
Me neither. I own tons of Lululemon stuff.
It seemed like there was a lot of negative reaction lately, to the Lululemon stuff, especially with this. When Chris posted this to the social channels, people were very... Yeah. I mean, one person even said, this has pushed me to cancel my membership, which I think is extreme.
Stupid.
Yeah, I mean, I do see what some people are saying. Like, they're already paying $44 a month for their classes. They're already paying that for the subscription. If they're paying $44 a month, do they want to then see commercials and ads on top of that? The flip side is other services like Amazon Prime. It used to be commercial free, but in the last year or so, they just started adding commercials on top of it as well. So
now you got to pay an additional fee if you want.
Peloton wouldn't be the first person to do that. And like you said, they've not suggested this. And again, it's not in every class, but sure, could there be a $5 remove the Lulu ads tier on top of all access? Probably not, since it's always been just the one subscription fee, but it does set up potential for things like that down the road.
I don't know. I just think people find a reason.
They're shoving it down our throats.
Yeah, but I also think people just find reasons to complain about everything. And it's 30 seconds of your life. Is it really going to make a difference? As Chris says, it's not going to be on every single class. I don't have an issue with it from that perspective.
Well, one thing I know we can all agree on, nobody likes commercials. Nobody likes ads. Yeah, everybody likes to skip those, especially on YouTube. So,
yeah, Yeah. No, I mean, that's true. And hey, I mean, on demand has been watching TV. You know, being able to DVR something and then skip through the ads is a benefit.
And that's a great segue for us to bring up our first commercial on this show. No, I'm kidding. Let's carry on.
Yeah, no commercials on Pelo Buddy for now. Who knows what's down the road, right, Chris? We'll wait and see. Anyway, all right. Well, jumping on that Lululemon bandwagon, there tends to be so much stuff. This next story is kind of fun, actually. Lululemon is hosting their very first members weekend at Peloton Studios, New York, from June the 7th to the 8th. So I'm not sure if anybody noticed, but when the schedule came out, 4 weeks ago, I guess now, for that weekend, or maybe even less, my math was never very good. Those 2 days didn't appear on the schedule. So folks could book for Thursday, they could book for Sunday and Monday. Sunday and Monday. Yep. But Friday and Saturday were not there. And there was just, nobody knew anything about that until this past week. So this past week, Lululemon members, so if you were a subscriber to Lululemon and you kind of follow them, some got an email invite to this special weekend. And booking became available this past Wednesday. So it was a completely different day to book these classes and a different time. It was at 2 p.m. Eastern time versus the regular 12 p.m. if you're booking regularly on a Thursday. So this past Wednesday, classes became available as well as some events. So it basically will feature a takeover of Peloton classes with live sessions, group runs, meet and greets, and a wrap party. As I said, the invites were sent to just a select group of valued Lululemon members, like you and me, Chris, who were able to register for classes on May 15th, as I said, this past Wednesday at 2 p.m. So as I said, it was different to what Peloton members typically see and use as far as the actual schedule goes. So even that was different. And in my opinion, it was actually a little bit easier to navigate. I actually kind of liked the way it popped up.
Yeah, so for people who didn't, unfortunately, get the invite, they literally had a list of all the classes that were going to be opening. Because normally, if you've tried to book the classes at noon, all the classes show up. You don't have time to sync. You have to click, go. But here, a day in advance, they showed these are the 20 classes that are going to be available. At 2 p.m., they're going to open. So you were actually able to look and prioritize which ones you wanted to try first and have a little time to think about it, which, like you said, is great, but they've just never done it before.
Correct. Now, I didn't notice this, Chris, and I was just so quick to try and book. Was there a filter option? I don't believe a filter option.
There was not, because this was not on the studio website. So this was literally just a completely separate website where it was a text list of the classes.
Got it.
It did. So even though it was a separate website, the links that you clicked to sign up did throw you over to the classes, which were just hidden on the studio website. So you did end up actually booking through Peloton Studios like normal, but they were just only visible to you if you had the direct link, which was on this class.
Correct. But I just couldn't remember if there was that filter. But
there was
option.
No filter or anything.
Okay, yeah, I didn't think I saw that. Okay, good. All right. Participants were able to book up to 2 classes per day, or 4 in total.
Did you have to pay for them, or was it free?
You did. It was the normal $35, so it was the same exact cost. The one point I'll clarify on that is it did seem to imply that it was 4 classes for the Lululemon members weekend, but it turns out that if you had a class...
Are you stealing my story? I am. Are you serious? I'm about to say that. The total class...
All right, settle down, Siegel. Sheesh.
Yes, Chris is correct. If you had booked classes for Thursday, Sunday, or Monday, that did count towards your 4 classes for the weekend, which was actually quite frustrating.
Couldn't get around that loophole.
Because, I had classes booked for Friday and Sunday, and I quickly had to cancel classes in order to get classes, and I was actually irritated because I canceled the wrong class on Sunday, which I was a little irritated about.
Yeah, I think the reason they did it this way and the reason they phrased it this way, this opened up 3 weeks after the rest of the classes and was sent to the Lululemon group because they probably assumed for the most part would not have booked 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So they probably assumed most of these members don't have any of those Thursday, Sunday, Monday, and it was impossible to book them at this point because they sold out 3 weeks ago. So that's probably why it was phrased that way.
Yeah. But as we said, each class is still the typical $35. So it was the same thing. And as Chris said, it did jump to the Peloton website. So if you had all your information in there, you were actually good to go. If you did not, you had to go through the whole process. So I tried to book something for Mark because he was going to be in the weekend. It didn't show up for him because he wasn't a Lululemon member. But you did have to. I think Nicole may have even tried to book something, and her information was in for London, but it wasn't in for New York. So you had to go in and sign the waiver and make sure that your credit card information was in and everything. So so there were So I think it was a little bit easier to get classes because lots of people were doing the same thing. So the classes weren't just being snatched up in the typical minute that they
took two this time instead of one.
No, you know what? It actually took a little bit longer. I mean, I was able about 4 or 5 minutes into it still get into some classes. So it definitely seemed, definitely took a little bit longer. There were 3 additional events though that were added. So those are being held on the weekend. There's an instructor meet and greet on Friday at 10 a.m. In the plaza just outside Peloton Studio in New York. That will be with Chelsea Jackson-Roberts, Cody, and Kendall. There's an outdoor group run on Saturday from 8:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. with Rebecca Kennedy. And then on Saturday, there is a rap party on Saturday evening from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. with, they say just Adrian Williams and Matt James. But I assume that the other instructors will probably be there.
In the description, they hint that there will be special guests, and they even put in quotes, Peloton instructors. So there will be others showing up there.
I missed that part. Okay, yeah. Now, these events actually were an additional cost. They were $50 each. Ooh. So if you were looking at wanting to go to one of those, it was a $50 fee.
Was there a limit on signing up for those?
It did not count towards the class limit. Yeah, so you could sign up for all 3. It did not count towards that class limit. And
with $50, though, in addition to that activity, you get a Lululemon swag bag, which they say is valued at $175. So who knows what that is, but they are throwing in some goodies and stuff with that $50 ticket as well.
Yeah. So, yes, I mean, if you were fortunate enough to have gotten the Lululemon invite, if you were not fortunate enough, let me rephrase it. If you were not fortunate enough to get the Lululemon invite and are curious to see as to what's on the agenda, the list of classes being offered are on pelobuddy.com. So Chris has them all listed out there that you can go and take a peek and see. It's your typical Saturday, Friday, Saturday schedule. For those that are familiar with the, PSNY schedule, it's the typical Friday and Saturday. But there are different names to a lot of the classes. So there is and I can't remember them off the top of my head, but I know
Campfire Yoga.
Campfire, that's so funny. That's the only one that I remembered. Ross's Campfire Yoga. I think there was a mariachis. Was that weekend as well? Mariana's mariachi. No, maybe that wasn't that for that.
No.
I think that's this week. Yeah. But I know there's different names to some of the classes. So certainly,
so what did y'all
head
sign
over
up
to
for?
Pelobuddy.com. Matty has a 60-minute walk on Friday, which I was able to get into. I actually got into an Adrian Williams strength class, and I have never done Adrian. I have never done a class with Adrian, so I'm really excited about that.
Nice.
And then I got into, maybe those were just the 2 because I had 2 other classes.
You signed up for the running event with RK?
I did not sign up for the running event. I am definitely not running outside.
And I did not either because I'm going to be in Matt's 60-minute Power Zone, not endurance ride Saturday morning, which is at the same time as that. So, and I'm also doing Katie's Row on Friday.
Cool.
What I am bummed about was that I did not get into the wrap party. Now, for those folks, so the classes are non-transferable. The events are. So
but
if you
the classes are cancelable though, like normal. So if you decide more than 24 hours out, you can cancel the classes and get your money back, just like a normal studio class.
Correct. But the events are transferable. So if you have
but not cancelable,
gone but not cancelable. So if you have gone ahead and booked to go to an event and for some reason you can't make it, you can transfer it to a friend and they can, I guess, pay you for that for that fee. The classes will all be available live and later, on demand. So just like the regular, Friday, Saturday schedule will be. And basically the event is just really a showcase, of the collaboration between Lululemon and Peloton. And I guess it's aimed at providing an exclusive member experience for those folks that are also Lululemon members. So just a different way to... for them to present it. I think it's, I liked it. I think it was something different and fun. We'll see if they'll offer more of these, throughout the year. I guess they'll see how this one goes.
Yeah. Well, changing topics completely, a couple month or two ago, we reported that Bloomberg had shared that Citigroup was supposedly starting to look for option to kind of refinance some of their debt. And in the most recent earnings call, they specifically addressed that, where they said they knew that was a concern for investors. They're looking into ways they can work with that. This week, Bloomberg reported that Peloton has actually gone ahead and hired JP Morgan and Chase, and they are going to help them try to raise around $850 million. And that would be used to refinance some of that existing debt. The loan process supposedly has not officially opened yet, but syndications of that loan are supposed to officially open on this upcoming Monday. But the bank and Peloton is already kind of reaching out to investors to get interest in it and get people to sign up. Bloomberg said that the margin for the loan might be at a rate of around 6.5% over the secured overnight financing rate, which I think would make the loan terms around 11 or 12%. Bloomberg did get a comment from Peloton, which said that the company is making progress on its refinancing strategy in close collaboration with its lead banks and financial advisors, and continues to be encouraged by the support and inbound interest we have received. So, yeah, it sounds like Peloton's starting to look at refinancing some of that debt, because I think they have around $1 billion coming due in the next year or two. So this will go towards that and try and get them a better interest rate.
Wow. All right.
That just made me think of the one GIF that someone posted as a comment in the Pelo Buddy with the Grim Reaper looking on in the distance.
Crazy.
It seems a little grim.
Right. Yeah.
Well, shifting a little bit over to the app. So in Peloton's recent earnings call, the company had shared some insights into its app subscription performance, revealing slower growth than anticipated, but the revelations have prompted Peloton to adjust their outlook for the year and reevaluate the app strategy with, some potential implications down the road for members that subscribe, just that are app subscribers. Peloton reported 674,000 paid app subscribers at the end of the quarter, which is a net reduction of 44,000 users. So this marked a departure from their forecasted growth trajectory. So despite the incline in paid app subscriptions, though, they did notice a 2.4% uptick in app subscription revenue, driven by growth in the premium App Plus subscriptions. So they did acknowledge, though, that they need to reassess their approach to subscriber acquisition and retention, prompting a pause on any further media investments as they evaluate their tiered pricing strategies and the subscriber acquisition funnel. So in the grand scheme of things, this is significant because it suggests the further changes that could be coming to Peloton's existing app tiers, which could impact current users. CFO Liz Coddington had specifically mentioned on the latest earnings call that they are looking at pricing, looking at our tier structure. This followed up by her saying that they will be actively evaluating our app tiering strategy as well. So obviously, to me, this just means they could be increasing app subscription prices at some point.
Yeah. Oh, not fun.
Yeah, well, speaking of the app, last week we shared that Peloton was teasing a new feature that was going to be rolling out, and that was an expansion of the search feature. If you missed the news last week, basically starting now, that the feature started to roll out now this week, you can now search by members by their real name in the Peloton app. And also, if you have a member stored, if you have someone's email address or phone number stored in your phone, you can turn on contact syncing and find them. First things first, if you haven't gone in and checked your privacy settings, go into your app and do that now. You are able to opt out of these features, but you have to explicitly choose to do that. And in my 2 cents, the feature is fine. The feature is great. People are going to enjoy finding their friends. However, this should have been an opt-in feature instead of an opt-out. And what I mean by that is, by default,
it's like a negative consent.
Yeah, I mean, right now, every 6 million members who've ever signed up, their names are going to immediately be visible through the search unless they open the app and choose to opt out of this. What they could have done was made it that unless the members go in and choose to show their name, choose to let their contacts be searched, they wouldn't show up. And I feel like that would have been the right move to do for people's privacy, because at this point, people have been on the platform for 6, 8, 10 years, and their real names have never been associated publicly with their accounts. And now in the course of 3 or 4 days, all of a sudden they can be found by their real name. Lots of people aren't going to care. Lots of people are like, whatever, my name's out there, I share it, that's great. But there's going to be thousands, tens of thousands, even 1 million people who don't want that. Now, Peloton did last week send out an email. They put it on a push app notification saying, we're doing this. It's going to be visible. You need to change your settings, but people don't read. People don't see that. People might not have done it in time. So there's going to be lots of people who are just going to now be discovering this and just now finding out their information is going to be available. So like I said, this is rolling out. Go check your privacy settings if you haven't. And yeah, that's my two cents on that.
Well, just another reason why folks should absolutely listen or watch Pelo Buddy once a week, because we tell you everything and you definitely wouldn't miss it. I have my 2 cents. I actually like it. I think it's, I like the fact that you can search folks up by their name. I hated that you couldn't. Yeah. I thought that was nice. I mean, certainly if it's your contacts. And I kind of had fun going through. And of course, so many of my, contacts, maybe used their Peloton a couple times and never again.
Yeah, that's what I got to.
And I'm like, but it was people that I didn't even know had Pelotons, and we kind of joked about it between us and said, okay, it was all these people that, why didn't they come to me and ask me for their, for a referral code back when they got their, Pelotons? That what made me more irritated than anything else. I absolutely do agree with you though, Chris. I think that from a privacy perspective, yes, it should have absolutely been an opt-in and not an opt-out. Way of them doing it. But as far as being able to search for people, I do like that. I do like that option.
That's going to expand the stickiness of the platform, because you're going to be able to find your friends, and if you're going to be able to ride with them and work out with them and be with them on the leaderboard, you're more likely to stick around and stay on the platform. Right. So we don't know why they did it, but knowing that's probably why they chose to implement it the way they did, because now you're going to find a lot more of your friends than if they had done it the other way and made it opt-in.
Right. But I did find it. I mean, obviously, John, you took a look through it. I did find it interesting how many folks have been on the platform and have done no workouts. I'm like, wait, what do you own? Do you own the hardware? Or look, a lot of them could just be app members.
App members, or someone who went to a friend's house and created an account for one ride, or went to a hotel and did one ride.
True. Of course.
Ghost accounts like that.
Yeah. No, I do agree. I do agree. But there were folks that I do know have the equipment, and now suddenly they popped up and I could see them, and I was like, guys, you got to get with the program. I mean, you're spending all this money. Why are you not working out? So yeah, I did find that to be quite interesting. All right. Well, moving on and changing gears completely, let's talk more about what Peloton is offering. And the latest offer is a launch of a new Floor Bootcamp 2 program led by instructors Jess Sims and Selena Samuela. This 4-week program, which builds on the original Floor Bootcamp, includes 3 classes per week, focusing on improving strength and cardio. Each week features a 30-minute Floor Bootcamp class with Jess, a 30-minute Floor Bootcamp class with Selena, and a 20-minute 2-for-1 class with both instructors. The program does not require completion of the first Floor Bootcamp program in order to kind of move on, but participants can earn badges based on the number of classes they've completed. So, for example, if you do 6 classes, you'll get a bronze badge. If you do 9 classes, you'll be awarded a silver, and a gold will be awarded for 11 classes out of the 12 that they are offering. A quick summary of the weekly schedule. For example, week 1, classes by Jess and Selena ending with a joint session. Week 2 is new movements to challenge strength and endurance. Week 3 focuses on power and strength movements. And week 4 is your final benchmark to finish strong. The classes can be accessed via the bike, tread, the app, and of course the website. Each class is unlocked progressively as participants move through the program. So just a nice way of incorporating strength and cardio with 2 instructors, which is kind of fun.
And as always, if you want to kind of build your own program, we do have the list of classes on pelobuddy.com if you want to kind of pick and choose. The one thing to note is since the program just came out, they released them a week at a time. So next week will be week 2, the next week will be 3, then 4. But then after that, all the classes are there to take whenever.
Thanks. Well, while we're talking about Selena Samuela, she has recently announced an unofficial lower body strength program called Power 4. It's the program. It's a curated collection of 4 specific glutes and legs strength classes that Selena taught during March and April of this year. The classes are as follows. There's a 30-minute glutes and legs from March 1st, a 20-minute glutes and legs from March 15th, a 20-minute glutes and legs from April 5th, and a 30-minute glutes and legs from April 26th. Selena had written in her Instagram post how she designs her strength classes with functional, real-life applicable moves targeting specific muscle groups to boost strength and enhance endurance. With that in mind, she recommended her Power 4 program for the runner in between races, looking to make some speed gains. She said maybe you're a golfer or a tennis player, or maybe you're a new parent, but that's out there now for everyone to take.
Nice. And yeah, these instructors definitely have been kind of curating these additional programs. Rebecca Kennedy has hinted at a potential new 3-day strength split program via her Instagram. So she asked her followers whether they preferred 3 times 30-minute strength classes, 3 times 45-minute strength classes, or a combination of both. And there was a poll up on her Instagram for folks that follow her to actually vote. This would follow her previous strength split programs, including the official 5-day split program and the unofficial 4-day split program that she's chatted about ad nauseum, and does have it on her favorites in her Instagram story if you're interested in doing the 4-day program. So by posting the poll on IG, it basically suggests that she really is considering member feedback for a new program. Although details and the release are still unconfirmed. We're not sure of that. It was funny, though, because I did notice that the majority were 30 minutes, and she came back and said something about, come on, guys, really? Like, you don't want to do a 45-minute strength class? So I guess she was hoping for potentially, more folks to go with the 45-minute option. And maybe she was disappointed that members really just preferred doing the 30 minutes. But yeah, look out for that, because potentially that could be down the road.
Cool. Well, we had our latest artist series, which featured Justin Timberlake. It began on Thursday, May 16th, with the majority of the classes on that day, and continued over with a couple classes to May 17th. But in total, we got 13 classes comprised of rides, rows, yoga, strength, and more. Classes in English and German. And the classes are as follows. So 20-minute JT Pilates with Mila, a 20-minute shadow boxing with Rad. That was dropped on demand. A 30-minute tread bootcamp with Jess Sims, which also was dropped on demand. A 30-minute run in German with Marcel. A 30-minute ride in German with Cliff. A 30-minute yoga flow in German with Nico. And a 30-minute upper body strength with Rebecca. 30-minute ride with Tunde. That was in the Thursday evening time slot, which I did live, which was fantastic. Absolutely loved it. Great energy in the studio from the members on that one. 30-minute row with Adrian, and a 10-minute cool down ride, which I saw that premiered as an on-demand premiere after the Tunde ride from Jen Sherman. And then rounding it out, a 45-minute full body strength in German from Asal. Oh, nice. And a 30-minute run from Han Frankson.
Yeah, I was traveling Thursday, so I never had a chance to jump on any of those. But I'm looking forward to taking those, through the weekend, which will be nice now that I'm back in Maryland. So that's awesome.
Nice. Well, to keep it on the subject of artist series, even though this is an official artist series, Sam Yo taught a special ride in honor of the 40th anniversary of the CD Pyromania, which was the third album from the band Def Leppard. And this was just a one-off ride. He announced it on his social media. It just showed up on the schedule. There was really no official announcement from Peloton about it. So like I said, not an official artist series, just a one-off. Took place this last Wednesday. Sam said that if you loved his AC/DC rides, if you loved his Bon Jovi rides, if you liked his Def Leppard rides, you would enjoy this. There was actually a Def Leppard artist series back in 2022. Sam taught one of those. So if you enjoyed this ride, you can go back and check out the older artist series as well.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I remember Sam doing an Insta Live with one or two members of Def Leppard back then.
That sounds right.
Does that sound right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool.
All right. Yeah, so we like to share everything. And one of the things that we have wanted to share with you folks is that for those of you that love working out with Jon Hosking, you may have seen him missing from the live schedule over the last couple of weeks. I think I alluded to it maybe a week or two ago that he was off, but he has now made it official. So this past week, he did in fact share on his social media that he will be taking some time off for an injury. Now, I'm not sure if you guys remember, he had signed up to run the London Marathon. And back in February, March, he announced that he would not be able to run due to an ankle injury. And he was going to, he was gutted about not being able to do it, but that he was, in fact, recommended by his doctor not to do it. But he did come back to the platform. He gave himself, a couple weeks, I think it was maybe 2 weeks off. And he did come back to the platform and did some amazing classes and then disappeared again. So it turns out that this ankle really has been bothering him and he really needs to take care of it. So he is in fact now in a boot, and he donned his beautiful boot and showed folks that you can in fact make it look sexy, and only Jon Hosking can do that. And then shared that, in fact, you can buy boots now as a designer piece of footwear, but he got it for free. So yeah, he will be off the schedule. We'll keep you posted as to when he should be back. His time frame is, definitely a few weeks, out. And yeah, I mean, we'll from a Club Husky perspective, of course, we're pretty gutted. But, we'll try and do group stuff. We'll go back to do some of his old stuff and let you guys know what is on the agenda. But there's so many other instructors out there for you guys to enjoy in the meantime. We all love a good dance party in Club Husky. So we wish Jon the best and hope for a, smooth and easy recovery and getting that ankle back to normal.
And Club Husky going dark for a little while.
Yeah.
Well, we have a new Unleash Your Limits signature series from Tobias Hines. He had posted in his Instagram and in his stories kind of talking a little bit more about it. Nice thing was he was talking in German, but there was English subtitles within the stories. So what he said was it's going to be honest coaching, a very challenging, hard run. It's going to be 6 classes in this series designed to raise your lactate threshold. And he also said these aren't meant to be classes that you just, jump in and do. They're part of like you want to plan it out. They're not, meant to be just kind of like a standalone. You want to have some preparation when you're programming it in there. But the first one, it's happening live on Tuesday, May 21st at noon Eastern. It is in German. But it was interesting. I don't know if we're going to mention it later in the show, but when I was pulling up the class time, I noticed that Tobias is teaching a Rolling Stones run and a Killers run. So it looks like next week we have a Rolling Stones and a Killers artist series. Yeah, we announced at the beginning of the month all those series for the month of May, and those were included as the ones for the rest of the year or the rest of the month. Slipped my mind. And one interesting thing to note about this, Tobias has actually done an Unleash Your Limits type class before, but it was kind of an unofficial. It wasn't officially named that on the schedule like this was, but it was definitely, from what members said who took it, a tough class. So this is one for, if you're looking to increase your training and get a great workout in. That hopefully we get subtitles pretty quickly on this. That'll, some of the time you don't always get subtitles quickly, but with these signature series like Cliff's Gospel series he's been doing recently, we've been getting subtitles pretty quickly on those. So hopefully with this one, subtitles will show up quickly as well. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, each week we do like to share with you what the feature classes are as Peloton puts out there this week at Peloton. And this past week for May the 13th to the 19th, we had first up a beginner shadow boxing with Rad Lopez. So there was a 30-minute live class on Tuesday, May the 14th at 12 p.m. Eastern. And it really was ideal for those that are new to shadowboxing and would like to try it out. The next featured class this is where I remembered the mariachi yoga flow with Mariana Fernandez. So this is a yoga class set to mariachi music. It is in Spanish, and that class premiered on Wednesday, May the 15th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We got a 30-minute live Bollywood slow flow yoga class with Aditi. That was on Thursday the 16th at 7:30 a.m. And it was featuring music from old Bollywood films. Aditi actually curated that playlist with her father, and she shared that her dad influenced a lot of the music that she had in the class. It was really a fun class. I mean, I think that Bollywood music is fun in itself. But doing it as a yoga flow with the DT, I did do the class, and it really was a fun, nice slow flow. And then lastly, there is the 20 million minutes challenge. So hopefully you guys participated in that. What they featured on this week at Peloton was the 2-for-1 classes, which kind of culminated the end of this 20-minute challenge. It incorporated a 30-minute walk plus run with Adrian Williams and Alex Toussaint, which was yesterday, May the 18th at 11:30 a.m., as well as a 30-minute ride with Camilla and Tunde, also this past Saturday at 12 noon. The classes are also a part of Peloton's efforts to celebrate Mental Health Awareness Month and encourage community engagement through their 20 million minutes challenge. So for those of you, we spoke about it last week, but it started on Friday and went through Saturday, where they were trying to get members just really active in that period of time, to kind of honor Mental Health Awareness Month.
Well, we have a new Peloton X Lululemon class collection on the app and on all hardware devices. The description for it reads, push past your limits with the Lululemon Get Into It collection. Discover endless possibilities as our instructors empower you to play hard, dig deep, and find joy in every movement. And currently there's 3 classes in there. A 20-minute arms and shoulders with Adrian from May 15th. It's a 15-minute bar class with Hannah Corbin from May 13th, and a 30-minute pop ride with Cody from May 10th.
And Get Into It is actually a callback to a previous Lululemon ad campaign. I'm not sure when it started, but it was around at least in 2023. And that was kind of the branding of some of their ad campaigns, was Get Into It. So I think that's where the name comes from, and it's kind of a callback to that older campaign.
Nice. And I definitely think they're trying hard to incorporate those Lululemon Mirror members as well, that I guess have access now and get them moving more, on the Peloton platform, which is good. Well, the next story is a feel-good story. This past week, Katie Wang shared with the community her engagement to her longtime partner, Victor Villari Lopez, with a photo on Instagram taken on a boat. Katie looks surprised while showcasing her engagement ring. Her caption humorously noted, "Don't worry, the boat didn't flip." Of course, she received some lovely well wishes from her teammates. Alex Toussaint said, "Yes, congratulations, family." Camilla Roman shared that, "I yell, I scream, I cry, I cannot. I love you both so much." And Olivia had commented, "I'm so happy for you too. Congratulations, best news ever." Of course, from us here at Pelo Buddy, we too wish Katie and Victor a huge congrats on their engagement and look forward to another Pelo wedding down the road. So huge congrats to them.
Well, Tunde Oyanen had another meet and greet event that actually happened today, Sunday, May 19th, in her partnership with Capital One Cafe. She shared about it on her Insta last week, but it happened on Sunday the 19th from 12 to 1 at the Capital One Cafe in Union Square in New York City. She's done a handful of events with Capital One Cafe so far, the last of which was sitting on a Money Talks panel with Hannah Williams earlier this year. But this upcoming event was described as an intimate meet and greet with Tunde, including opportunities to take pictures together, and registration was free for it as well.
And changing topics again, there is a new lawsuit filed against Peloton this week. In Mississippi, a woman has sued both Peloton and RXO, which is the new name of XPO, the delivery service, over an injury she sustained on a bike. The lawsuit says that in 2021, she had ordered a bike and it was delivered to her house by RXO employees. They set it up for her, but then they told her that she should watch some online videos on how to adjust the seat and handlebars. Later that day, supposedly, the bike's handlebars kind of dropped down into the support columns in front, and she called Peloton and they said someone would contact her. The next day, she was using the bike, whereas the bike seat collapsed down into the base. She was thrown off the bike into a wall. She had to go to the hospital, so she's filing a lawsuit over that. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that last year, 2 years ago, Peloton did have a recall over the Peloton bike seat post. However, it sounds like this is slightly different. The recall that happened over the seat post was because in that case, the seat post would actually snap like to the side and just shear off and go to the side. here it sounds like this is more of the sliding, dropping seat post issue that I know a lot of people have reported over the years, whereas you might have it tightened down, you're riding, and all of a sudden it just slips down, sometimes by a notch or two, sometimes all the way down. But it sounds like this was more of the sliding seat post issue than the previously recalled snapping seat post issue.
Yeah, it's very frustrating. I have it on my on one of my bikes, and it is annoying. Now, I've never been thrown against a wall and had to go to hospital, thank God. But it is frustrating. And mine has never gone all the way down. Mine tends to just go a couple notches down.
That sounds like a typical hotel bike, you know, and you go to the hotel fitness room, they have a Peloton, it's like all beat up and you can't adjust the seat where it falls to. Just, God, it's frustrating.
I wonder what they're going to do about that. Yeah. All right. Well, not everybody loves their birthday, but there is one Peloton instructor that absolutely loves his birthday. So a huge happy birthday shout out from us here at Pelo Buddy to Matty, who celebrated his birthday this past Thursday, the 16th. And John, you are in good company, a fellow Taurian.
I know, we're 1 week apart.
1 week apart, but Matty absolutely loves his birthday and spoke about it for literally the entire month of May leading up to it. So, you know, we here are shouting happy birthday to you, Matty. Hope you had an amazing weekend. I know you took time off. So
Matty, 37, 30,
39.
Ooh.
39, the big 40
almost,
next year.
Yeah, right around the corner.
He has a big next year. It's going to be his 40th, his marriage, maybe a baby. I mean, he's just a busy dude, so that's exciting. He's going to have an exciting year next year. All right, well, that takes us right into instructor in the news, and there is a lot of it. So much is happening with the instructors. But I will go ahead and kick this one off. It seems, folks, that one can't show even an ounce of gratitude these days without it being misconstrued. And Hannah Frankston is that person. She recently posted a message on social media that led many to speculate she might be leaving Peloton. However, she later clarified that she was not even remotely thinking of it or her intention. In her original post, Hannah expressed gratitude to everyone who has taken her classes with her and acknowledged the support from the Peloton community and her collaborations with, you know, different brands, like her collaboration with Lululemon. The confusion arose from a line in her post mentioning even when other opportunities arise, which some interpreted as a hint at her departure. To address these concerns, Hannah posted a video on her Instagram stories reassuring everyone that she is not leaving Peloton and emphasizing that her message was simply to express gratitude. Hannah reiterated that she appreciates the support and wants to express her thanks while she is still actively involved with Peloton and not waiting for a departure. So hold your horses, everybody. For right now, she is very much there. And of course, I had that hand-to-head emoji that I sent to her. And she was like, for God's sake, Amanda, seriously, these folks are nuts. Because there were definitely some really riled up members out there that were concerned.
Everyone always looking way too into it's a Taylor Swift album, you know, dissecting all the lyrics to figure out who the diss track is about. What was that too
she said on the stage?
God.
Yeah.
Well, if you haven't noticed, Cody has a couple. He's been beefing up his IMDb resume lately, and he's been on two TV shows recently. First, he landed a role in the show The Girls on the Bus, which is a new show on HBO, or now Max. It stars Melissa Benoist, Carla Gugino, Natasha Benham, and Christina Elmore, and it features 4 women journalists. That's the premise, as they follow various presidential candidates. He appears in the 9th episode of the first season, about 8 minutes in, and he posted a little video to Instagram highlighting the appearance, the role in it. And then also, Cody's also appeared in season 2, episode 2 of the animated show on Disney Plus called Monsters at Work. The specific episode is called The Creep Show, and it aired recently on April 5th. Cody played the voice of the voiceover work. He played the voice of Spinergy, the Spinergy instructor monster. The episode description reads as follows. The Mifters join Mike and Sully in representing Monsters, Inc. at the Creep Show, an energy convection where they hope to promote laugh power to industry professionals. So I gotta look that one up to see how they animated that character that he's voicing.
Yeah, fun for Cody. That's awesome. All right. Well, Ali Love appeared on the Bright Side podcast in an episode entitled Ali Love on Staying in the Moment. Ali discusses resilience, the importance of pep talks, and how to navigate life's transitions. She also touches on whether making your bed in the morning is necessary. I definitely have an opinion on that. Ali also shares insights on staying present and the power of positive mindset practices. If you want to go ahead and take a listen to the podcast, head over to pelobuddy.com. Chris has a link and you can take a listen.
Cool. And some Marcel Dinkins news. So Marcel recently spoke at an event at Peloton, which was in collaboration with Melanin Moy, who is a motivating and informative exploration hub and community for women of color. The event was called Mindful Movement Meetup, and it took place last Wednesday, May 15th, in the afternoon. Peloton hosted the event at their headquarters this time, not at PSNY, at their 9th Avenue location. The event, it was held in partnership with the rideshare company Lyft. And the description read, engage in enlightening discussions during a live panel featuring esteemed speakers, as well as Marcel Dinkins, among others. Enjoy an interactive wellness class and expand your network during a rooftop networking mixer.
Nice.
And then Marcel also had a little TV appearance. She was recently on News 12 Long Island, giving a little, taking the two hosts on the show through basically a pre-run warm-up stretch. It was just a quick, it was really a really quick segment. It was just a little over 2 minutes, but she started with a TFL stretch, then did a T-spine rotation, then they went into a plank, alternating, extending one arm out and one leg back. And then the last stretch was an inchworm back up into a standing position.
Nice. Well, the amazing Kirsten Ferguson shared her recovery journey on her Instagram this past week, celebrating a year from when she had her hip replacement. Kirsten's caption read as follows: 1 year ago to the day, I had to hit pause and heal parts of me that were broken, both physically and mentally. Even though it was very difficult, I am so grateful for it because it helped me become the strongest version of myself. Oh, and I'm not done. The story continues. And this chapter is going to be big. We are certainly pleased that she is back on the platform, and we are excited to see what the next chapter holds in store for Kirsten.
Nice.
Yeah, well, if you've been looking at Peloton's social media channels this week, you might have been seeing a lot of marathon content in partnership with the New York Roadrunners. They have a half marathon that's taking place this week, and as part of that, Peloton has been sharing lots of running and marathon-related content. One of those was on the main One Peloton Instagram channel, where Matt Wilpers shared some half marathon pacing tips, and he kind of broke it down into the 4 segments of how you should pace yourself. Miles 1 through 3, he kind of said just start at your pace that you can sustain the whole time. Miles 4 to 6, you want to really settle in at your target pace. You've probably spaced out a little bit more so you can, kind of find someone going at the right pace and settle in with them. For miles 7 to 10, you should just kind of focus, maintain yourself, and mentally get prepared for the final 5K. And then for the final 5K, he says to let it rip, see how much energy you have if you can, gradually speed up the pace, and just get to the finish line. So and they also shared a average pace chart. So if you're, looking for a specific time, you can look at this chart and see what pace you need to maintain. For example, if you're going for a 2-hour half marathon, you need to do a 9-minute, 12-second pace. If you're going for a 3-hour half marathon, it's a 13:44. So they just kind of shared that resource on their social media channels. In addition, Matt shared that he is training for a half Ironman coming up in July. He's going to be doing the Muscleman 70.3 half Ironman, which takes place in upstate New York. So I expect over the coming weeks, he'll be sharing a little bit more about his training and preparation as he gets ready for that race.
Cool. Well, Robin Arzon has recently announced a new partnership with Jarrow Formulas, which is a leading dietary supplement brand. She will serve as the accountability partner for the brand's audience while exemplifying Jarrow Formula's versatile product line. In a press release from the company, they said, "I am thrilled to take on this role as Chief of Superior Starts and work with Jarrow Formulas as we empower people to level up and become the best version of themselves," said Robin. And I've never heard of this company. They were founded in 1977, so they've been around a long time, and they offer a wide variety of different high-quality dietary supplements.
And it looks like Chelsea Jackson Roberts is off to Asia in July. Lululemon are celebrating 10 years in Singapore, and Chelsea will be attending the celebrations as one of the Lululemon ambassadors at the 2024 Glow Festival. The festival will host a bunch of fitness, sound bath, meditation, and well-being panel talks by their ambassadors and partner studios from around the world. Chelsea will offer exclusive yoga sessions as well as an insightful panel discussion. So that's exciting for her.
Yes. And rounding out instructors in the news, Aditi was recently on Amazon Live to go over her beauty must-haves. It was a 30-minute segment, so she went over a lot of different items, from her favorite makeup bag, her go-to contour, a makeup palette kit, and moisture and shine cream. You can check out the full clip. We have it linked on pelobuddy.com if you want to see the video.
Nice. And we will go right into class picks of the week, and I will go ahead and kick it off. All right. First up, we have Annie Love, her 30-minute Blackpink ride from May the 9th. This one came to us from Love Squad Peloton, Lady Nelly Henry, Christina M. Romano, and Nina 182. They also said, "You can tell Annie loves K-pop, and we do too. She was so happy, such a fun class." Callie Gullickson, this was a 30-minute country bike boot camp from May the 10th. She obviously recorded this pre-mat
They were gatekeeping that class for a while.
They were, absolutely. She recorded that, pre-mat leave. This one came to us from Amajat 3. Great to see another class from Callie drop, plus just a solid workout. And then the 30-minute 2-for-1 Mother's Day ride. This one was on the 11th with Jess King and Robin Arzon. It came to us from Workout Barbie 88, Rachel Blaufield, and Jenny Thuriel. They said just loved everything about this ride so much.
And Armajar 3 gave us the next one, Benny Adami's 30-minute low-impact ride, which was in English from May 11th. She said, great combination of English plus a Eurovision music theme. And then Sam Yo's 16-minute Power Zone Endurance ride from May 12th. Pizza Pusher said it's another episode of Sam's video store rides, but in a long Power Zone ride. So great. Armajar 3 gave us Leanne Hainsby's 30-minute 2000s pop ride also from May 12th. She said, such a fun playlist with Gaga, Katy Perry, and more.
Nice. And then we have Charlotte Wiedenbach's 30-minute metal ride. It was in English from the 12th. This one came to us from, appropriately, Metal Rides 273. And they said Charlotte's metal rides are always great. And this one was better because it was English too. And then the next one comes from me and my good friend Robin Ra. It was Matty Majacomo's 30-minute Mother's Day walk, also from the 12th on Mother's Day. Matty had his mom and his sister and had invited his admins, his Magic Makers admins, as well as others into the class. It really was an incredibly beautiful moment. Matty can be funny, he can be hilarious, but he can also be so heartfelt. And I got to tell you, I didn't think that I would be in tears on a tread, but just hearing the beautiful things he said and how much he appreciates the women in his life, as well as the women on the platform, was a really special, special moment. So if you haven't taken that walk, definitely do it. Just bring some tissues along, because it was definitely one that got you choked up. And then we have Jess Sims, her Sim 60. This was her first full body tread bootcamp under the new name, also from the 12th. This one came to us from Mother of Muppets and Angela in SC. They said the inaugural of her rebranded series. She is the best and makes us all feel part of the team. And then
Dippin' Dot 22 gave us Tunde's 45-minute PZ ride from May 12th. They said challenging ride with a great playlist. And then Christine D'Ericles, 45-minute climb Palomar Mountain, part 3 from May 13th. Chrissy C. and Spin Lift Namaste gave us this one. They said, the third and final part of the new series. I hope we get another mountain to climb soon. Her coaching is masterful. And then Adrian Williams, Thunder 45 Tread Bootcamp for May 13th. Amy Runs NYC submitted this one. She said, great, tough class from Adrian, as we've come to expect and love from his Thunder 45s. And I was feeling courageous, so I actually did this one live, and it was really good, and I didn't die.
I'm so glad you didn't die.
And there were some good Adrian moments in there too. some classic bits.
That's awesome. All right, well, moving to the row, we got Katie Wang's 45-minute EDM row bootcamp. It was from the 13th. This one comes to us from Bertha C. Runs MD, and she said she's the queen of these. Perfect combo of full body cardio and strength. Plus, this class was right after she got engaged. So let me open
she's
this
glowing.
up. So she's glowing. There we go. So she's glowing. Yeah, that's awesome. All right. We had Rebecca Kennedy's 30-minute 2000s tread bootcamp. This one was from the 14th of May at noon. It came to us from J-Lamp 12 and Kathy M 19. And they said, she's so fun, but still a hard workout. I'm still sore days later.
I did that one live. It was all 2000s bangers, all hit after hit.
Yeah, it was
really good.
A hardie. And then, the next one, Kira Michelle and Dennis Morton's 20-minute Creating Space Yoga from the 14th. This one came from me, as well as Carol Brady and Kira's Koalas. I oozed last week about this new series that Kira put out, and I had to bring it up again this week. It truly is probably one of the most incredible programs or kind of series, whatever they're calling it, on the platform. Having Dennis in the room with her was amazing. I mean, her first one, as I said last week, was just beyond. Dennis showed his vulnerability, and I had no idea that, who would have thought that he would have gone through as much as he had as a young teenager and kid growing up. He was so open and honest, and certainly as we continue to get through Mental Health Awareness Month, just an amazing way for these instructors to just give us the perspective of it's okay to not be okay, and that you can go on to be very successful and have a platform where you're able to share this with so many people. Incredible. I was able to do this one live, and I can't wait for next week's one, which will be with Kirsten Ferguson, and then the last one the week after, which will be with Matty. So if you guys haven't tried that, you do not have to do yoga. It is literally just stretching poses that you get to listen to them talking in, and you get uncomfortable, but it's worth it. So definitely do that one, guys.
Great. Well, Farthest Light gave us the next one from Jermaine Johnson, 30-minute strength roll call upper body for May 15th. They said, love the mix of exercises in the workout, wish she was a roll call regular. And then Diane J77 gave us Jess and Selena's 20-minute floor bootcamp for May 15th. She said part of their new floor bootcamp program, so good. And then rounding it out, we're going to head over to the row, where Stephanie Z submitted Alex Karwoski's 15-minute 90s pop row for May 15th. She said this playlist had Chumbawamba and Hanson. His playlists are always great.
Awesome. And those are our picks of the week. And that, I guess, wraps up the show for this week. Well, Chris, we always love having you on here. So you do provide a level of deep down that maybe John and I sometimes don't get. So it's always nice to have you on here that you can share that with us. And I guess looking forward to another full week on the Peloton schedule with me heading to the studio next week. So I am excited for that.
I will jump in real quick and just say, you know, speaking of a full week of Peloton schedule, it is a full week this week, but just as a small reminder, Monday, the 27th on Memorial Day, there will be no live classes that day. So if you're looking at the schedule coming up, there will be a gap of live classes, not tomorrow, but the 27th for Memorial Day.
Yes. And and no in-studio classes, obviously, as well. Because
no live classes from London, too?
Correct.
Yeah, correct.
Yes. They are celebrating in London as well. I am headed down. I am excited. I will be celebrating 1,000 walks in studio with my boy, Matty Giacomo. So I am very excited about that.
And on a 60-minute, you're getting your money's worth on that one.
I'm getting my money's worth on that one. And I have, Ross, probably my last live in studio with Ross. I get to be with him on Friday and Mariana. So I'm excited. So if anybody's going to be down there, look out for me.
If you remember, can you just let Ross know it's Kenny Bania before he departs from, just so he knows. I will make sure,
yes.
I'm probably never going to get a shout out from him again, but just set him straight.
I did laugh. I did have a good laugh at that. I will make sure that I let Ross know that it is Kenny Bania and not Bania. So I guess that wraps it up for us, guys. As always, we always like to thank you guys for tuning in and coming here to hear all of your Pelo news for the week. We are the premier Pelo podcast out there.
Premier.
Chris? The premiere. And don't forget, if you like what you hear, you can always go ahead and subscribe and donate. We would love that. So it just helps Chris put out the best information that he can get out there with no ads. So if you'd like to find out what is going on and look at that website without ads, then donate. Just felt like I needed to throw that in now. Now that marathon season's done and everybody's done donating to everybody running marathons and half marathons and everything else, as the summer approaches, donate to Pelo Buddy. Am I embarrassing you, Chris?
Not at all.
All right, good. All right. Well, with that being said, from me here back in Maryland, thank you again for tuning in and look forward to seeing you again next week.
Yeah, thank you guys for letting me sit in this week. Always good to, share the news with you guys. And from me here in Atlanta, we'll see you next time.
Yep. And from me here in Michigan, appreciate you tuning in, watching, and listening. And as always, we will see you on the leaderboard. Bye for now.
Thank you for watching Pelo Buddy TV, your source for everything Peloton, by the community, for the community. Work out with us using the Pelo Buddy TV leaderboard tag and find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Pelo Buddy. Don't forget that we have a podcast available so that you can listen to us while on the move. Just search for Pelo Buddy TV on any major platform and hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode.